on, guys? My name is Andrew.
My name is Chrissy Drew.
And this is The Summer, where we recap what's been happening in hip-hop and R&B from week to week. Let's get into it.
Some stuff. Alright, do you know what we're about to do?
What we about to do?
We're about to get into some notable releases.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I know last week we came off of so many projects coming out. It's like, yay! And this week it wasn't as much, but there was a project both of us checked out, so we're gonna talk about it. J Hus's second album, Big Conspiracy, sorry. And I would have to say I really like this album. I really appreciate it. He was sharp, like his flow was sharp on this. He tackled like different genres. Did you notice that? Like it was very well represented, like different subgenres. I know he had like his legal troubles and the album got leaked and stuff like that, but it was good to see that he didn't let any of that stop him. He just released the project and it was a really good body of work. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would say it was a really good body of work.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And while I feel like it was very genre versatile,
okay.
And like you had mentioned, it was a lot of different types of music that were well represented. I felt like it was just a little sleepy for me, at least the beginning of the album. I'm a big fan of albums that start off the right way and albums that end the right way. And while I feel that this album ended very well with Deeper Than Rap, which is one of my favorite tracks from the album, I felt like the first 4 or 5 tracks were really sleepy. Outside of the joint that he had with Burna Boy, called Play Play. So, I mean, overall, definitely, I would say a solid album from J Hus. I needed a little more of like a wow factor that I didn't feel that I heard on this album.
All right, I think that's the first time we split the fence on album.
Yeah, you know.
So what else?
Many more to come. We'll see. You know, we're very opinionated music lovers.
What else you checking out?
So, man, I listened to this Wiz Khalifa single, "Speed Me Up," featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Lil Yachty, and Sueko the Child. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Look at Chrissy's face, and then you'll know exactly how I feel about this. As soon as I saw the cover art for this single, I already knew what it was gonna be.
Right.
And I still tried to talk myself out of my preconceived notions and tried to give the track a listen. And it was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. It was a lot of bubble gum, and don't get me wrong, you know, so kind of to backtrack a little bit, to give a little bit of background, this is a single that's gonna be on the soundtrack for the new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So naturally, you kind of expect it to sound a little watered down. But I felt like this track was straight water. No Kool-Aid mix.
No nothing, right?
No ice. And it was hot water.
Just hot water? Oh my
Hot water, like the water you don't even want to touch.
That's a punishment.
Hot water from a plastic bottle.
Oh God.
You better throw that out before you get
Left
cancer.
in the car.
Left in the car.
All right.
For a few hours.
All right.
Garbage. Wiz, I love you. I love your flows. I feel like you're super underrated in the game, but nobody showed up on this track at all. Everybody sounded like they were another person, maybe like a kid version of themselves.
Okay.
I just wasn't into it. What did you think?
Maybe this was for like a kids bop audience.
Maybe.
We don't know. But listen, all I have to say is, because I heard like 3 seconds and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not going to do that to myself this week. But I always try to give Ty Dolla $ign a chance because I love him.
Yo.
I'm tired of Ty Dolla $ign just being on other people's songs. Just give me a project. You don't need to do nothing with Wiz Khalifa. You don't need to do nothing with nobody. Give us a project.
It's Taylor Gang. It's hard though.
Like,
they always gonna do stuff together, but I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I don't need that. Let's go, Ty.
Let's get the Ty Dolla $ign.
Don't let Wiz do stuff like this to you.
And now it's time to get right into If You Know, You Know, the segment where we talk about, ooh, that was she hit that on key. Anyway, she hit that perfectly. Now we're gonna get into If You Know, You Know, where we get into artists that you guys may not know about yet. So to kick things off, I gotta talk about Mavi.
Okay.
North Carolina's best kept secret for sure.
Right.
When we talk about an era of J. Cole, we talk about an era of DaBaby. We also got to talk about an era of Mavi.
Okay.
So he's gonna be your abstract, super delicate intricate flow type of rapper.
Okay.
Somebody that's kind of like comparable to like an Earl Sweatshirt or like an MF Doom.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That type of vibe, isn't it? Came out with one of the dopest albums of last year, a little slept on, called Let the Sun Talk. I would put it in that top 5 conversation of albums from last year. A couple tracks on that last album that he just released, Let the Sun Talk, that were standouts to me. Sense, Ghost in the Shell, and Chiasma. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. I looked it up, and has something to do with molecules.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's super dope, and he has that mind. I want to say that he studies some type of like, is it molecular biology? Something like that. Don't quote me. Something super dope. Mavi, out of North Carolina.
You know what I love about you, Drew? When you check for artists, like especially new artists, it's like you can see into the future with them. You're like, we have to talk about this. If we have to talk about Jay-Z, if we have to talk about Diddy, then we gotta talk about no name rapper right now. But it's like, it's good though. It's good because you know what? You hype them up and you get people energetic for their music, and it's just when they don't live up to the hype.
I can feel that. That's fine. Because they live up to my hype, and as long as y'all listen, that's what matters. Y'all can feel how y'all feel, you know?
Okay. We respect that.
Yeah, but no, listen to Mavi though. Seriously, feel it.
So this week, I was listening to one of my current favorite songs right now, "The Get Down" by Aaron Ray, and dope R&B artist you guys should check out. And a radio started playing, and this artist showed up, and the song, his name is, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, but his name was Emawk, Emawk, and the song was called "Whelm." And I just heard it, and it was so dope. I was like, wait, because the sample, he sampled like a Mass Appeal by Gangstar.
Ooh.
Right, over like an R&B vibe, and it was just like, wait, what? Like, I was like, what? So I was like, okay, I need to go and check out this artist. And I ended up going to his page and listening to his EP, or his 3-song project called All the Feels. And I was just very impressed. It was just, sonically, it was so pleasing, and it was a good vibe. It was a good introduction to him, and I wanted more, and I'm gonna research him more. I don't know where he's from, I don't know all of that stuff. I'm going to do more research, but Emawk, you guys should check out "Whelm." Like, that song that's good.
Grizzly, by you describing the beat to that song,
right,
I can guarantee you, if we got real hip hop lovers and real hip hop listeners,
right,
I can guarantee you that they'll definitely check that out, because I will.
Come
on now, Emawk.
Yeah.
Emawk. That's 3 times, okay? You have no excuse. Go check that man out. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
So now we're gonna get into the discussion motion for today.
Mm-hmm.
So award shows, right? Are they losing traction today? Are they hitting harder today? Does it matter depending on the community? What do you think?
I feel like there's 2 different perspectives when it comes to award shows. There's the perspective of the people who view them, and the perspective of the people who are involved in them. So, from a viewer standpoint, we could say, well, these don't really hold any weight, or what's the big deal, or whatever. But as an artist, especially something as esteemed as the Grammys, you managers, artists, songwriters, whomever, any creative in the music industry, you work towards that. Like, that's an accomplishment. It's like a college degree, or something that you really have a lot of that you really hold with high regard. So I think it's not as much as how the fans view it, based as much as it is how it's affecting the people who are actually a part of that process.
As far as artists are concerned?
Yes, as far as artists are concerned.
Okay.
So we're specifically talking about the Grammys right now. And I think a lot of people, they don't know how the Grammys, how the people who win are picked. So we could just run by it real quick. So basically, the Recording Academy, which is the overall organization of the Grammys, they have members, people, it could be songwriters, managers, different people who are part of that organization. And when it's time to submit for Grammy consideration, different people can submit who they believe should win. There's about 13,000 voters who pick the best of those ballots that they bring in. And then there's like out of the top 20, they place them into like 5 categories, probably like eight nominees in the top categories. They send those ballots back to the members, and then they vote on the winners. So that sounds pretty fair, right? Like
sounds like it should be fair,
right? But
in theory,
with what we find out this week, with a lot that has come out from the Grammy CEO, it doesn't always go like that. Like when you're the president or you're on the board of the Grammys, you have the ability to add in somebody that you may think didn't get nominated and deserve to be. You know, that's how we get people lobbying and putting in who their best interests are, you know, massaging their relationships. And that's when we get to the point where it's like, wait, so how can we have the integrity? How do we know this is real? How do we know that the deserving artist is actually winning?
Yeah. I think the Grammys has been something that we, as far as the hip hop and R&B community, have constantly and consistently, year after year, have had issues with.
Talk about it.
You know, this is something from the jump. You know, when we talk about the first ever Grammy being awarded to a hip hop artist, that's Will Smith, and Jazzy Jeff, wasn't televised.
No. Off
the rip, lack of disrespect, or lack of respect, excuse me, in a clear point of disrespect towards the art form. So that being said,
and today in 2020, when hip hop is the #1 genre, it's still not televised.
Of course not.
So that's very telling. I think that we're in a space, and this can be said for a lot of industries, but let's just get real about it. We're in a space where our culture, our art is cool. It's cool, but it's not respected. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know if you saw it, but Diddy was recently, when he was accepting his honor at, I think it was at the Clive Davis party, and he basically put the Grammys on notice.
Truth be told, hip hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be.
And he said that you have 365 days. We know like this has been going on. We know that this is the type of stuff you guys have been engaging in for years. But now that it's out in the open, we need you guys to step up and do what's right, or, you know, properly respect the culture, properly reward the culture. You know, you look at certain albums, and as far as impact, as far as how it's received socially and everything, it's the album of the year, it's the record of the year. But then when it's music's biggest night, there's no representation there. It's not right.
No, I mean, I think you said something extremely important. Representation.
Right.
Lack of. And that's really what it is. You know, we talk about these albums that you mentioned that were so big, you know what I mean, that were being passed up. I don't know though, I think that the time has come for us to stop trying to play a game that we were never supposed to win anyway.
Oh, okay. You're taking it there.
We got the power. We got all the power. We make the music. It's being consumed by them. They're eating off of the music that is being made by people from our community.
Right.
So, how is it that you have somebody and by somebody I mean a large group of people that are eating off of the art,
right?
Yet you don't want to give the art the proper respect.
Right. You know, I think what happens is a lot of people, right? I hear this word all the time. Diversity. We want diversity. But I feel like diversity only looks good on paper for people. Like it only looks good as like a buzzword to say in like an email, or, you know, on social media to write, or, you know, to say when you're making a speech. But to actually practice diversity takes work. It takes actually going into a community, or understanding a culture, or understanding, you know, the different nuances, and finding ways to represent that, finding ways to speak to the people who are a part of that. And unless you have people in decision-making roles, unless you have people who are behind the scenes, the people who control the money, who control how things are done, willing to do those things, then you're not going to see any change. That's why I say it goes beyond like the people who view like us as fans, you know? It's really on the people who are behind the scenes. That's why it was really dope that Diddy did that, and he was in a room full of mega influencers like Beyonce, Jay-Z, and I hope all of them are on board for that, and that's just not talk for a great social media moment. I hope that is something they actually need.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I do hope that we start to see a change. And you know, like you said, people need to be in those positions
Right.
that have our overall well-being in mind.
Right.
So, you know, hopefully we'll see some types of change in the years to come.
Right.
You know, after Diddy and Jay and Beyonce and Wiz and so many people were in this room and basically, you know, called a spade a spade.
It's just funny how everything is political at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it all boils down to politics. You know, who is the person that's empowered to make the change?
And who are they in bed with?
Yeah, damn right.
All right, well, that's it for this week's discussion in motion. But if you have something to say about that or add to that, definitely hit us in the comments.
Let us know because we want to hear exactly what y'all have to say. The lead act.
And unfortunately, we got some sad news about the passing of the legendary, impactful, so many ways to describe him, Kobe Bryant, and his 13-year-old daughter in a recent helicopter crash, as well as other passengers who were involved. This is so sad, so tragic. Like, I know a lot of time stood still for a lot of people because it just didn't feel real. And it's just like a big loss for the world because he definitely impacted a lot of people. And we just felt like it was very important to send our condolences to his family, to his fans. You know, I see you have on a hat, definitely showing respect.
Of course, yeah, man. Condolences to the family, the Bryant family for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that, you know, we had to experience this huge loss. The Black Mamba, man, you know, he's inspired so many people.
Yeah, definitely.
In and outside of sports.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You said the impact was worldly, and it definitely was. I think it's important to just remember that, you know, these types of people are on this earth and they do great things, but it's not to say that once that person has left that the greatness should stop.
Of course.
You know, we have to continue to carry the legacy on.
Of course. And briefly, if you want to talk about work ethic, it doesn't get any. I know you can't talk about that without talking about him. Like, he definitely, it has been well documented that he had like superior work ethic. So definitely just really wanted to send some love and support to his family, to all his fans, to everybody, and just send the rest in peace. And to his beautiful daughter. So sorry to hear about this loss.
Most definitely. Rest in power.
With half a minute to play, Bryant for the lead. Yes! Kobe Bryant gives the Lakers the lead.
He was legendary before this game. This takes it to an absolute another level.
And that's all for another episode of The Sum Up with Drew and Drew.
Drew and Drew. Hey.
We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you think. You know, are you feeling it? Do you agree with us? Do you not? You know, like, let us know. Hit us in the comments. You know, send us a message. You know, however you want to interact with us. Let us know. You know?
Seriously, we need to hear from y'all, man.
Right.
For real. Send us all your hate mails. Send us all your love mails. Send us all your... Ooh. I don't know if my mailbox is big enough. It's all good. Catch us next week, guys. Most definitely.